And good evening from the end of another hot and exciting day 3 at the 2025 Roller Derby World Cup here in Innsbruck, Austria, hosted by the Fearless Bruisers. I'm Dork Mistress.
And I'm Bob de Quickly.
So, 72 games down, just 8 to go.
It's getting down to the pointy end of the tournament here, folks. We are currently alongside tracks 3 and 4 in T-Roll Arena. Up until a very short time ago with the quarterfinals, every seat in this stadium was occupied.
And we've been busy having a bit of a studio refurbishment. We would like to thank 888 for being the sponsor of the evening show today and the morning show tomorrow. So big shout out to 888. So, yes, we started the morning show. We talked about how there were 6 qualifying games that would automatically put you into the semi-finals. So that was, and the winners of those games were Australia, Canada, USA, England, Sweden, and France. And that was first thing this morning. All of those games were just, whew. But, and then there were 10 more games, and those helped finalize the rankings and helped identify who the two strongest countries below those 6 automatic qualifiers. And there were some surprises in those 10 games.
Absolutely, there were some surprises. Yeah, all of those games played out this morning and informed the quarterfinals, which played out later in the day.
So New Zealand took the win against Mexico, which the rankings suggested they wouldn't. And again, Belgium beating Finland. You know,
you called that one.
I'm feeling a little bit smug today because back on Thursday morning there was me going, I think Belgium's going to be really strong. They're going to be a contender. The rankings said Finland were going to take the win, but Belgium won by about 20 points. And then Argentina quite comprehensively beat Black Diaspora.
I think that was a surprise for everybody. Black Diaspora have been performing really powerfully all weekend, or all week.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit of a surprise to see that result.
Yeah, it was about 100 points between the two teams. So there's this very sort of detailed algorithm, and all of these results from those 10 games went in. And those 2 wins by Belgium and Argentina did see them qualify for the quarterfinals that we've just had. So the quarterfinals that we've just completed, USA were playing Belgium, Sweden played France, England played Argentina, and Australia played Canada.
And out of those games, USA Roller Derby were victorious over Belgium.
Sweden were beaten by France. So France go through to the semi-finals.
The England-Argentina game, that was a high-energy game down in the LSZ Stadium. England came away with the win for that one.
And Australia-Canada, it is Australia who will be going into the semi-finals. So a brief word on those games. I mean, Sweden, France, I think, and USA, Belgium. USA winning by about 300 points, which is kind of what you would expect because they were matched against the sort of lowest ranked of the 8 teams. But England, Argentina, you saw a bit of that, didn't you?
I saw a little bit of that. There was a very vocal crowd. We had a bilingual in-house announcing team, so able to bring the action to the fans in the arena in English and Spanish on both the stream and in-house.
Yeah.
Absolutely high energy.
And it started out neck and neck, I think, sort of the first 20 minutes, it really was.
Yeah, at the interval there was 18 points separating the two teams.
But then England taking control of the game and with quite a substantive win. And then Australia, Canada. That was neck and neck, I think, again for sort of the first half.
Yeah, and absolutely. They played here on track 4, so right alongside the concurrent France-Sweden game. So the energy in the room was absolutely electric.
I mean, I think you came back into our little cave where we hide and just going, it's absolutely packed in there. It's so loud. And we're in this stadium now, and the heat, the sort of inherent heat from all the people, is still making me feel quite hot. So that does confirm that our semi-finalists are USA, France, England, and Australia. And again, I'm feeling a little bit smug.
Yeah, you called pretty much that top 4.
Yeah, I thought Canada was going to be the other one, and I think that showed. Argentina putting up that really strong initial defence against England. So yeah, I think we've had to, in terms of what have I missed, a lot. But do you want to talk about what that does for tomorrow's gameplay and games?
Yeah, so as we already have talked about before, so there are some bottom half of the draw games still to play out because the quarterfinals were moved to today to make sure that the finals playing skaters had enough rest. So those games are coming up in the morning between Wales and Greece on track 5 and Denmark and Poland on track 4. And then a little bit later in the morning, 11 o'clock, Colombia versus Team Desi and Salam versus Latvia. But the semi-final games are both happening at 9 o'clock Central European time. On track 1, USA versus France. That's going to be an enormous crowd in there.
Oh, that is going to be so loud, and it's going to be full of energy. I think, whenever we've had these big games on at 9 a.m., the place is packed.
Yes, absolutely. And here in the Tyrol Arena at 9 o'clock will be the England versus Australia semi-final.
Oh, I think there might be a little bit of a grudge match, this one.
There's always a little bit of a grudge match, Australia and England.
Yeah. And, we are into a normal bracket now, so the winner of these two games will go into the final, and the losers will go into the third, fourth playoff. Both of those will be held in the evening. Well, afternoon tea time, as we would say in the UK. Completing those low-ranked games, so by 1 o'clock, we will have finished all of the sort of teams games. We will have finished the semi-finals, and we will be ready for the team parade. Do you want to talk about the team parade?
Yeah, absolutely. The team parade will be happening shortly after 1 o'clock local time. That will involve all of the teams involved in this tournament parading into the main arena. There'll be music playing. There'll be your proper sports ceremony. Yeah, flags, teams being loud and proud, waving to their people at home.
And I think also just, getting the appreciation from the audience here about their commitment this week at this tournament, the play that they've given us, the joy that they've all given us. It's our chance to sort of really make them feel like superstars.
Absolutely. And if you've been watching the games at home on tracks 1 and 2, those two tracks are now being consolidated into a single arena tomorrow for our finals day.
Yeah.
Both sides of the spectator audience seating will be open, and it is sold out at capacity. Over 6,000 spectators will be in the room enjoying those games for the day.
Yeah.
So that's the atmosphere these teams are going to be walking into in this teams parade.
Yeah.
And it is their time to shine.
Yeah.
And we can now tell you that thanks to 888, that will be brought to you free right here on the Roller Derby World Cup YouTube channel.
It will also be on the stream, so if you have a streaming pass, you have a choice of where you want to watch it. But and I think you and I will be sort of giving the commentary to the audience at home, telling you about all the different teams, their stories, their passions, their motivations, and how they've done in this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. But the ability to host it on YouTube really makes it vastly more accessible to the friends and family of all the folks at home who are watching their teams.
And to put it in perspective, with 48 teams, we're talking about nearly 1,000 skaters. So that is going to be quite a group of people on the track, quite a spectacle. I remember doing the parade in 2014 when in Dallas, I think we filled about 2/3 of the track. And that was with, far less number of teams, and quite a few of them with far less skaters. So I think it is going to feel like this huge event. And I'm not sure we all know how to deal with that, because we're used to going to tournaments in little leisure centres where there's maybe a couple of hundred spectators, 1,000 if it's a big deal.
8 teams.
8 teams. Yeah. And it's going to be 6,000 people in this room, all completely losing their minds.
Absolutely. It's going to be amazing, and you should definitely make sure you don't miss it. But all of that's designed to make sure that our skaters get a little bit of a rest leading into the third and fourth game, which will kick off 3:30 in the afternoon, Central Time. Central European Time.
2:30 UK, and that's doing the maths, about 7:30 in the morning in Eastern Time in the US.
And then the final game is due to start here at 5:30 local time.
Yeah. And after that, don't run away straight after the end of the game. We have got a closing ceremony, and we want to see whoever is going to win the trophy lift it, and we'll be able to. You'll be able to watch that on the stream. If you are watching this on YouTube and you want to watch the games tomorrow, you can buy a one-day streaming pass. Go to Roller Derby olympiaworldcup.live and click on one day pass for the Sunday, and that will sort of enable you to get your pass for tomorrow, because you are not going to want to miss this. I think, we've talked about it and I'm feeling a bit smug, but this is the first Roller Derby World Cup, and this is the fourth one. This is the first one that Canada is not in the semi-finals.
Goodness.
We have a new competitor at that sort of semi-final level, and I think it just shows the growth of European roller derby, because that is France, and you had Sweden in the semi. So it's really shown how over the last 7 years since the last World Cup, European roller derby's come up. And the other story is, the Latin American presence.
Oh, that has been absolutely magic.
Yeah. So we'll have to start building stories for the next World Cup. So join us here tomorrow at 8:40 a.m. as usual for the 888 morning show at the Roller Derby World Cup 2025. We'll talk a bit more about the games and what we think we're going to see, and we'll get you all excited for those semi-finals.
Thank you. See you then.